Welcome back to the channel. Going to do a little video today on how to do a sales sheet or sales dashboard, whatever, for a group of reps for both total for the like a year to date, and then also for a if you wanted to slice and dice it a different way, if you wanted to do it by, month or by rep or date range, what have you. So a lot of different variables here that we can work with, and there's also a lot of different ways to skin this. You could use pivot tables. You could do it a number of different ways. This is one way to do it. If you're using Excel online, you can share this with others who can access it. That can, if a rep themselves wants to see how they're doing versus somebody else, and there's a lot of little nuances and tricks and things that we're going to try to go through here. We're going to try to do this fairly easily. I'm going to use a data. I have this table of data on another tab, and what you would want to do is create a table. And the reason being is because what's going to end up happening down the road, if you have another employee that joins another region, you have data that needs to change within here as you add records, and maybe you have maybe you're exporting from QuickBooks or something like that. You can paste in right below the bottom record, and the table will continue on, but the equations or the formulas will remain the same for the table. So to create a table, Control T. There's the data. Boom. Okay, now we have a table. So now we're going to go back to our main page, and we're using so we can compile all of our data on this page, our raw data. So anytime you have an invoice, you can create the invoice. If you're creating in QuickBooks, you're creating in another sales form, you can upload it using this format. Boom, it's in the table. So then what we're going to do is first thing we're going to do is do a sumif for the reps. We're going to create a list of reps, so it's fairly simple. Equals unique, and this will give us a unique list of reps. Okay, tab, and then we're going to go back here. Boom, and now we have. So now we have this list of reps. Okay. Now to get the total sales for these reps, for each rep, for this, if that data is year to date, then we're going to use a sumif function, which is super easy. Sumif the range where the rep name is. Criteria is going to be right here, and the sum range is the range that has the dollar on it. Okay, now you can copy this down to here, and you're going to get zeros in there. But what's going to happen, and I know this is right because I've summed it up on the other table I could show you though. So 384,000, so if you go back to the table, you like this and you sum it up, it shows 384,000. You can't see it because it's out of the picture, but it says 384,000. So we know that's correct. So now, let's say that you wanted to get a list of all of the, if you wanted to, we'll create a drop-down list right here for each one of the reps. And so in this case, you can create the drop-down using using the validation. And what you're going to do is you're going to use, it's going to be list. And what we're going to do, this is pretty slick. So since this is a spilled formula, you click this and then you hit the pound sign and we hit OK. So now it's only going to pull whatever is in this column. And if you were to add an invoice over here, so and let's say that's the date I have, and let's say it's Carl. Bushwood, and it's another I don't know, how much should it be? How much would all the gopher repair be? And we're going to say CG. And the region is Georgia. Alright, so now if we go back over here to sheet 2, we're going to see we automatically picked up, this automatically picked up our additional rep, and we also picked it up here as a choice. Okay? So we're looking good. So now if we said, now we want to be able to filter by a certain rep's name, by a certain rep. So we're going to use a filter function. In the array, oh, I did that wrong, is going to be this, table 1. You're going to include this equals this. We don't have to put an if empty in there because we know that we won't be able to choose somebody that's not there because we're using a unique list of reps. So then we hit enter. Boom. So we only have one from Carl, of course, because that was the one we put in there. But let's say we wanted to do somebody that probably has a little more. So we have this person. Okay, so that's great. So now let's say, all right, well, we've got this rep, and he is whoever it is, and we want to see what he did just in the first month and a half of the year. So we say from 1/1/20, 21 to let's say 2/15/2021. So then what we would do, we would use the sumifs function to go between this range of dates. So you would say equals sumifs and the sum range is going to be, now what we're going to do is include a much longer, I'd probably go to 100. Just you want to include a much longer range than you currently have, especially if you're earlier in the year, because what's going to happen is as you increase sales, you won't be able to, if this range isn't long enough, then you won't get all of the, you won't be including all the numbers. So you need to know kind of how many you're going to, how many invoices you're going to be doing over the year, and make sure you plan accordingly, and then add on to that and say, oh, we'll never get to that point, and then add 20% more. So remember Y2K? Nope, most of you don't. All right. And we're going to hit a 4 to lock that. Sum range. And then the criteria is going to be the criteria range is this range, and you need to match the length criteria range, and then criteria F4 there, hit F4 to lock that in, and the criteria is going to be, this is what's a little bit tricky. So we're going to open quotes, and so the criteria is it's going to be greater than or equal to this date. So we have to use the open quotes, and it's very important because if you don't get the quotes and this upcoming ampersand, the formula won't work. Equals greater than or equal to, close quote, ampersand, and then this date here. Then we're going to say criteria range 2, which is the same criteria range the sum range is going to be the same because you're pulling it from the same column. It would assume that you're pulling it from the same column. Criteria range 2, lock it. Criteria 2 is going to be open quotes less than or equal to ampersand this date. Close. Cross your fingers. Boom. Got it. So we're going to change this so that we do there you go. Okay, so now we have a dollar sign, we have the rep. So now you have kind of a you have a ranking of here, conditional formatting. We'll do the conditional formatting. That goes down. Now in this case you only have room for two more reps. So if you do more hiring, then you're going to have to do that. So you have to add rows there. But in any case, we're going to look at conditional formatting and data bars. And I like lighter blue. And so now you can also get an idea of who's leading the pack and who's not. So lots of other, and then you can format this any way you want. But kind of a neat way to do this. And again, you can if you're on 365, you can share this with all of your reps. They can go in and they can look at it and see which take a look at their numbers for a given date. If they just wanted to do, let's just look at look at January 131 221. So yeah, same number. Let's see, we'll look at April, just so we know that we're not doing anything with 4, 1, 2, 2, 1, 4, 1, 4, 30, 2021. A little different number. So it works. So you can do, like I said, do other things to dress it up and make it look nicer. So in any case, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Like and subscribe to get access to the content when we release it, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks.